such an asshole.
So one of the things that I'm very thankful I live for, like, I live to see him put a man on the moon. I live to see the internet. What I am eternally happy that I got to see, that I got to live to see, was where the American people, largely younger people, admittedly, said, screw this, I'm going home. We're not taking any of this corporate BS. We're not dealing with psychopathic boomer bosses. We're not dealing with bachelor's required, master's preferred for an entry-level job. We're not dealing with the HR Karens. It is not acceptable. Not acceptable. And here, it's not that I have mixed feelings. It's just, it is a fact, a byproduct of providing a rather generous welfare state and eliminating social norms where there was shame living at home. That has changed. In my time, it was shameful if you lived at home after you were an adult, even though most Gen Xers did it, or mom and dad would pay for their rent and they'd still claim to be independent. You should have gotten a job. You had to work. Your boss knew what was, but you never questioned it. Oh, you got fired. That was shameful. And all that did was allow for a lopsided environment in which one party, employers, had all the power. And think about how warped. You want to know why I hate humans? This is the reason. If somebody has total control, you can see this in marriage, where if you're married, that person can divorce you, just leave you. And the same thing happened in corporate America, where they had all the power, all the control. You couldn't go back home and live with your parents. There was no welfare state. There was no UBI or stimulus checks as we had it during the disease. And so you're at the mercy of employers. And not only was the pay marginal, but you tolerated the most psychotic, unacceptable behavior. I remember I had a female boss one time, it has nothing to do with her being female, just to explain the story to you, would literally keep me in her office for hours to talk about her dating life and social life. And I'm like, do you want me to do any work? Being asked to forge and fabricate financial statements, obviously in banking during the financial crisis or the build up to it. And this lie, I think the ultimate example of just how evil people will go if unchecked is corporate America's employers' insistence to require all of you not to attend 13 years of school, but 4 years more at great and tremendous expense and cost to you, to the point you are not going to get a job to pay back those student loans. To the point you have to, now you're faced at the age of 23, you have to work 2 jobs now for 3 to 4 years to pay for a horrific mistake that corporate American employers required you to have. And they think nothing, and they will, all they had to do, employees are our greatest asset, all they had to do so that you young people didn't have to face this horrific situation you find yourself in was offer on-the-job training. So instead of going to school for 4 years and $70,000 in debt, you go to training for 2 to 3 weeks, and you'd start by making money at the age of 18. But in addition to all that, you had now more recent, you had HR interviews where you have veritable witches coming in with their astrology signs, thinking they could predict whether you're going to be a good employee or not. And then certainly starting in my day, it was just starting to happen, was this big push for the opposite of what Dr. Martin Luther King wanted, which was the color of your skin and not the content of your character, where everything has to be shoved up your ass in terms of diversity training. There is sexual harassment training, which I'm not even necessarily like, yeah, you might want to lay down the law a little bit from legal. But now, where you got to tell people who've been told since they were in kindergarten, hey, don't discriminate against people who are different than you, and it's Marxist propaganda, and you're wasting our time. Dude, the line was already crossed long ago. Corporate America was not some joyful place to work in. The corporate politics alone made it a genuinely toxic environment. And now it's beyond the pale. And I think for whatever your reservations, including mine, against having a stimulus check and effectively a UBI and living at home, being dependent and all that, it was enough. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. And now at least one entire generation, well, the boomers too, the boomers are retiring early, saying enough of this, I'm out of here, But certainly the younger generations had the great resignation and said, nope, I'm not doing it. Now, corporate leaders, especially HR people, are dumb. And above all else, they're arrogant. And I'm thoroughly convinced that most people in modern day corporate American employers throughout the world do not go into business, do not have their career because they want to make the money profit, let alone even maybe make money themselves. That certainly is one of their goals. But I think what they really want is their egos masturbated and stroked off. I honestly think that because working in corporate America myself, I'm like, none of this makes money. That's going to lose money. Why? Because that was whatever, Banker Bob's pet project, or that was Sally Sue's pet employee. It is basically a very large daycare. It's a continuation of middle school and high school for America's psychopaths and egomaniacs to go and play popular contest with maybe along the way, maybe making money. But the goal is not to make a good product at a good price, to make a good profit for your shareholders and good jobs for your employees. I think it is just it's a popularity contest for egomaniacs. Well, generation said, nope, living at home. Mom and dad they lived at home too, because it's now my generation raising the children. Some people just say, I'm not going to go to school for 4 to 6 years. I think the internet is getting out there where it's like, hey, the Josh Flukes of the world are making it real. Like, hey, this is what it's like in corporate America. Oh, and the disease proved what I've been saying ever since I was a young man, and that is we don't need to commute to offices. But if I can't see you, how do I know you're working? Hey, why don't you go to the nursing home, Grandpa? That's not a good working attitude. I'm going to get demerit points for that. Okay, Charlie, you just enjoy collecting your Social Security, and I hope it buys something in 5 years. So now you have a movement. People are just not tolerating corporate crap anymore, but they're so egotistical, so caught up in the fantasy. If I'm a corporate executive, I'm an HR director. They don't realize that their businesses are no longer viable. And it's getting to the point that your large corporations that you traditionally want to work for, you don't want to work for them. For example, I'm not, just so you know, I'm on the side of minorities too. I'll give you a perfect example here. There was this great hubbub about Morgan Stanley having a minorities only internship program. That is the definition of racist. It is. That's what it is. You're discriminating against a group of people. In this particular case happens to be white, but that is discrimination. It's under the guise of, but here's the thing, you think, oh, that's great for minorities. No, it ain't. You know what here's the number one reason they're doing it. So they cannot get sued for discrimination in case a suit is brought against them. Say, look at this program, right? But the other thing, they don't pay you interns crap. You don't want to work for Wall Street. You don't want to work for the bulge bracket. It'll run you into the ground. You're going to if you thought your rank and file American employer was like a popularity contest for high school and middle schoolers, Wall Street or Hollywood or big tech, it's that on shrooms and crack and meth all combined. That is going to be Hunger Games where you're all competing to kill each other or Squid Game. That's what the bulge bracket is. And I don't think they're going to pay you. You get the experience. It's called free labor. Last I recall, there was a group of people that were trying to avoid slavery. Oh, you're going to go intern for Morgan Stanley. Okay. But anyway, so it's a sinking ship. You do not want to be working for major U.S. employers because they have the brand name, they still have the momentum, they still have the reputation they're carrying over. And so they could still have this facade. They can still fool themselves into thinking everyone wants to work for us. We're big corporation X. Until the same people had enough of it. Until that 20% of the people who did all the work said, I'm out of here. See you, bye. And guys, I'm getting tons of field reports from engineers, doctors, accountants, a lot of accountants. Like, nope, I'm gone. I'm done. And people who quit their jobs or got fired. No, 2 guys that got fired. The people that fired them can't find replacements Been 5 months for one guy, I think 4 months for the other. And these are not HR people that you can do without. These are not your entry level types where you could just replace them like a commodity. These were high level people that you needed. They were work bearing. They were one of that 20% who did 80% of the work. And my point is that while you might have this allure to go work for these large corporations or large employers, they are sinking ships, and they are certainly Arkham asylums that you don't want to work for. You will not come out of it with your mental health intact. But, and here's the thing, but because these are large established corporations, because whatever, it could be Target, it could be Walmart, any big ass corporation. Ooh, you work for that corporation. Because they have their brand name and the reputation, and for the past, whatever, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe even 100 years ago, they were the big dick on the block. They still think that they can get away with treating employees, new and old, like crap. And also because of their size, they got to worry about lawsuits. And also they want to be woke. That's the marketing strategy. Hey, how do you get poor black kids to part with $150 that they don't have to further impoverish them? I know, get a failed quarterback for the 49ers who's a trust fund baby to whine about racism and sell them a $150 pair of Nikes. That'll help out your young black males, won't it? And so now it's marketing, CYA, legal, and they think they can still dick you around. I guarantee you, all these people generally in HR, they're getting wet, man, when they get to force diversity training on you people. They get it because it's power. It's not for the money, guys. It's all for the power. Guarantee you. And now they're forcing, I don't know how many and what the size of the company it is that they decide that it's a good idea to accuse everyone of bigotry, to moralize their working people, and to pull all the productive people off of the line. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering if minorities enjoy diversity training, no, they don't. But the point is that if your employer is offering this or forcing it on you, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. And they don't realize, because of their past and their ego and their momentum and their brand name, that they need you more than you need them. And so I got a lot of people like, I can't believe I'm going to go to diversity training. No, you don't. No, you don't. Today, 2022, today, there's no better time. There's not been a better time in the world where corporations cannot find employees. They just kind of like, oh, we're late. You gotta get the job. If you don't, you can't come work here. Fine, bye. Wait, where is everybody? We gotta shut it all down. We don't have enough people. We need the National Guard to do our jobs. They don't make the connection. They're still that arrogant. But it's not been a better time because, fine, you go quit your job. No, I'm out of here. Bye. You could find another job right now because enough people it's the great resignation. They can't find people. Oh, maybe it doesn't pay enough or as much as the other one, but you don't need to tolerate that anymore. You don't. And while we got them on the run, like you could do what's called a rout. This is old ancient war battles. And then the Carthaginians got routed by the Romans. Well, that means they were retreating. The Romans mowed them down anyway. So we don't want that army regrouping and coming to kill future Romans. We're going to kill them all. It was a rout. You got these people on the run. They don't even know it yet. They're desperate. They can't find employees. Critical positions go unoccupied, unfilled for months at a time. Karen and HR kids, you don't interview with HR. I just did a video on that. You do not interview with HR. You're talking to them, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, am I interviewing with HR? Oh, yeah, you'll talk to Tiffany. No, let me talk to the hiring manager. Yeah, I only interview with HR. No, I'm only going to talk to I'm not talking to him. Oh, too bad. Okay, I'm not interested. And a guy who did a PSA announcement, he paid for one. He followed up. He says, I've actually had the opposite reaction. He says, I know you said to be polite and civil and just refuse to interview with HR. I've ghosted them. And then they're calling me up and I'm like, boy, In other words, he treated them like utter crap. He just didn't show up for the interview. And they're like calling out of desperation. And there's a lot to be said because I think that does delve into female psychology. Why'd you stand me up? Now they really want you. It's almost sick and twisted, but if you treat them like crap, they want you more. And maybe that applies to HR. But by God, by mighty, here comes well-endowed Molly. You do not ever set a foot into diversity training or any Marxist leftist training, sensitivity training. Like, no, I don't do that. What? No, I'm not doing it. Hey, we're going to have diversity training. I'm not attending. Matter of fact, I know it's like, well, it's optional. No, I'm leaving. No, you either get rid of that charlatan or you lose me in the critical position and my percentage of the 80% work. Because this isn't going to last forever. The day is going to come wherever the economy stabilizes, new normal, whatever. We're going to need food. People are going to need to work. The corporations have the power. Employers will have all the power again. And you'll be negotiating for $15 an hour, whatever the inflation-adjusted wage will be then. But right now, you got them on the run. Right now, you could rout, you could destroy, you could get rid of all of HR and all these frauds posing as diversity and inclusion advisors. All you people at Coke, when you heard about that, like, oh, stop being so white, you all should have, no, gone, done. Oh, well, come on, man, come on. No. You never have diversity training again. You never have any Marxist leftist propaganda training again. You have on-the-job training. There is none of this crap. None of it. No, I'm not donating my time to your charity. No, I'm not donating to the United Way. I come here to work and get a paycheck. I do the job, I get paid. Malcolm Reynolds. Because, man, wouldn't it be nice if instead of a bunch of you pussies just, oh, I got to keep the job because happy wife, happy life, big mortgage, big mansion, paycheck to paycheck. What if you just Lester Burnham up and said no? And you just go in there like, no, I'll fire you. You could fire me, but you'll have a lawsuit against you. Just say no. You're in the interview? Well, we have some training. What kind of training? Is it on the job training? Well, no, it's sexual harassment training and diversity training. But so you got that training, but you don't have on the job training? Well, yeah, I don't do that. No, you will treat me as an adult. I'm not going through your propaganda. I'm here to work and do a job, and you're going to trust me that and if there's a problem, you fire me. You can fire me. I screw up. I said something untoward, unprofessional to a person, regardless of what type of person they are. You fire me. I am not. And oh my gosh, if everyone just simply had the self-respect, y'all, I never understood this. We need a living wage. What do you work at a job that doesn't pay you to live anyway? Why would you accept that job? It's the same thing. I am not going to diversity training. I don't know where they're finding all these people that have master's degrees and 5 years experience in software that's been out 3. I don't know where they're finding it. They're not. With labor shortage, can't find anybody. I'd consult you corporations, but you're so far up your own MBA-laden asses, you wouldn't listen. I'm talking to the workers. I'm talking to the people. You don't want to sit in there and listen to some fat hog with their master's degree in diversity and inclusion. You see, here's the concept we pulled fresh out of my huge black female ass. Ooh, it's stinky. All right, here you go. It's a pile of crap. Eat it. Because you're a bad man. You don't understand. It's so advanced. I have a master's degree. No, not doing it, sweetheart. Get your 300-pound ass out of here now. We're working. This is where real production is made, not Charlotte. You want to talk about real grifters? There you go. There ain't no value in that. So, I mean, I know there ain't any real Americans left, and I know all you people out there, you got a bunch of debt, and you got to live paycheck to paycheck. You can't afford this. Can't be real men and women because, you're just debt slaves. But could you all just maybe, I'm going on welfare. Nope. No, I'm going to live with my parents. Don't care anymore. Not working. No. You cross the line and F you, by the way. You get right in your boss's face. F you. Close the door, make sure no one else can hear you, and you read them the riot act. You tell them, I am sick and tired of being accused of crap I've never done. And you're gonna take this job and I'd like to curse this where I want to keep this shareable, not necessarily monetizable. But guys, when is the day coming we never have to go to diversity training? And again, the day you decide you're not going to diversity training ever again. Like, I don't sleep with dudes. Okay? No offense to our gay brothers out there. Just that's not the way I swing. All right. No one's forcing me, but if they say, hey, you got to start sleeping with dudes. No, I don't. No, I don't. You got to sit here and be accused of things and crimes you're not guilty of and be lectured like a little child. No, I don't. No, I don't. Because it'd be called having self-respect. I know you Americans ain't got none of that. And then just so you know, for our minority listeners or female listeners, oh, you got to take diversity training. No, I don't. You'd be like, what? I'm minority. No, I'm not taking it. No, I'm just not. Just not. They're not going to fire you. Don't worry. Like, I'm not going to do that. No, you're going to assume I'm an adult. You know, if I stop acting like an adult, you can fire me. I'm not dealing with this. Maybe. And that was the other thing I was going to say. Go find, because you could find a job where they're not going to have you do that. Because here's my prediction of the future. These large corporations are not going to make it anymore. And all they're going to become is brands. That's all it is. It's just going to be a brand stenciled or printed off on something that is made elsewhere. And all the real work is going to be done by independent contractors, the real men and women who work in this country, smaller companies, smaller corporations, specialized firms. That's where you want to go. And you can leave this nightmare of hell, this Arkham Asylum at Morgan Stanley, where they're just celebrating the way you were born. Oh my goodness. When do we actually do the work? You're not going to do it. That's over. That's gone. What you want to, have you guys seen go to Targets, look at their diversity and inclusion page. You want to work for that place? Minority or not? Do you want to go look at their director? You go look at their diversity director. You want to work for that woman? You have fun. I don't know. Maybe I just want to sling some burgers or work at a Jiffy Lube or something and just change some oil. Because I bet you at Jiffy Lube, they don't have diversity training. Like, hey, can you change the oil? And your life is going to be a lot better. And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, where are all the employees? We can't find them. And then they'll outsource it. They outsource the jobs anyway. And there you are sitting home doing the accounting for whatever, Target Corporation. And you don't have to tolerate it because you're not on their campus. You're not listening to this is the diversity. Oh my gosh, the inclusion. We're going to raise the awareness for the children. We need to help. The same crap you all got in college. You don't have to deal with it anymore. And that's why 1099, I always say, it's not only 1099 the superior race, but it's the future. Or working for a smaller employer. That's the future. And it starts where you don't do interviews with HR and you do not ever tolerate diversity and inclusion training. It's a policy. No. But Aaron, what if I worked at this company for 10 years and they're forcing it? Nope. Nope, I'm not taking that. Nope. I mean, you can fire me and hire me back as a contractor. I'm not taking that. No. Shove it up your ass. I know. Happy wife, happy life. You all got to be the corporate employers' bitches. All right. Let's scroll through. Butt Thunder says, new guy, $5. The oil field is so short of workers that HR has next to no power. I don't even know why there's HR there. I don't even know why go to the oil field. There you go. Hey, I heard you need a welder. I'm a welder. I'll file an application with HR. No. You need a welder, don't you? Who's the guy? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? I talk to the guy. Oh, Frank, but he's busy. Oh, I guess you don't need a welder that much then, do you? Wait. Oh, okay. Nimble Fred, $5. I'm W2 at a Fortune 500 company. I learned to tune out the diversity preacher. It just, no, man, that's not it. Leave. Just leave. Just leave. God, guys, can you fight a little bit? Purple Mail. We got a lot of new people today. Welcome, Purple Mail. IT networking, whole department went work from home, start of the COOF. Asked us to return like 8 times in 2021, 0 people return. They can't do bleep about it, and I love it. Yep. Now you know where the power is. The power is not with Tina in HR or MBA laden jerkwads. Okay. It's in the people who do the work. The employees really are the greatest asset of the company, at least the 20% that do the work. And generally, that's your IT department or your blue collar workers. Channel 1800 dumb or New Zealand agent in the field. $5 New Zealand dollars. Good post on Ukraine cap. I'm thinking of transitioning, but I cannot find my axe brother. Bless you and the fellas. Thank you. Send your red-headed sister over here. Is that it? That's it. Oh, no, one more. Michael Morgan, $5. Preach Gappy. Keep up the good work. It's frankly pathetic how little self-respect people have. I know. They all have debt. They all got their student loans. I'm perfectly all right if you want to, like as per the standard accounting advice, go work for the big four, but never go beyond, one level up, cut your teeth and leave. But you don't want to become junior partner. You don't want to become a director. You don't want to be in charge of that. The big four is horrifically woke. They're promoting people based on skin color and plumbing before there's no reason you should go there. Absolutely none. All right, that's it. Okay. Questions, answers. See you guys later. Over at Asshole Consulting. Toodles.